Global Gag Rule is an executive policy of the USA government. It controls how NGOs that receive US government funding use those funds to perform or promote abortions as a form of family planning. In 2017, President Donald Trump reinstated the Global Gag Rule and extended its application to all global health assistance programs, which include government funding for TB prevention, HIV and AIDS, family planning, nutrition, and so much more. When an NGO signs its funding agreement or contract with the US government and agrees to receive global health funds, they're accepting the terms of the Global Gag Rule. The Global Gag Rule prohibition applies to foreign NGOs and affects an organization's entire pool of funding. This means organizations receiving US global health funding can't use these funds and other non-USA government funding they received to promote or perform abortion as a method of family planning. If an NGO receives Global Gag Rule funding and subgrants non-US government funding to another organization, it's argued that the non-US government funding is also subject to the Global Gag Rule. The Global Gag Rule requires NGOs to declare that they don't perform or promote abortion services during the funding period. NGOs can't do the following types of activities either: use funds to perform abortion services but can use funds to provide post-abortion care services, provide advice or referral for abortion services unless it's for an abortion in cases where the woman's life is in danger or the pregnancy was a result of rape or incest, promote or lobby for change in the country's laws to legalize abortions or make them more accessible to women where they're legalized, conduct information campaigns about abortions as a method of family planning. The provisions don't apply to healthcare providers who have a duty, according to the country's law, to counsel and refer women for abortion service provisions. This is known as the Affirmative Duty Defense. The Choice of Termination of Pregnancy Act 92 of 1996 and the South African courts recognize a positive duty to counsel and refer women for safe and legal abortion services. Healthcare providers working for an NGO that receives GGR funding can therefore refer and counsel women on abortion services, and doing so won't trigger a violation of the GGR provisions. Violating the provisions of the Global Gag Rule means that the grant agreement will be terminated and the remaining money will have to be returned. Any money spent on offending activities will have to be returned to the US government. The Global Gag Rule decreases the quality and availability of comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services, forcing healthcare users to search for alternative ways to access services. It silences the sexual and reproductive health rights and pro-choice movement while emboldening the anti-choice movement and their efforts to advance a conservative ideology. It impacts marginalized groups like sex workers, LGBTQIA+ persons living with disabilities, and people living in rural areas and under-resourced communities, as programs aimed at their rights and healthcare are cut due to loss of funding. We're saying no to controlling sexual and reproductive health, no to making it harder for people to receive care they need, no to the anti-choice movement, and yes to human rights that extend to all, and particularly to marginalized groups.